Yeah.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Finley and our classmate. Today my group, Alejandro and Corey and me, will present the effects of added sugar. Okay, now here is an introduction. We're gonna first talk about the sugar overview, how it's made. Then we are gonna present the problems of the sugar in the humans, and then we are gonna suggest some solutions. Now we're gonna present the sugar overview, how it's made. Now Corey will present.
Thank you. So it's made from 12 atoms of carbon, 22 atoms of hydrogen, 11 atoms of oxygen. It depends on the type of sugar, how these atoms are all arranged. So like for fructose and glucose, they're arranged differently. It is a carbohydrate. It's found in every fruit and vegetable naturally. It provides calories for your body to use as energy, but they have no nutritional value, so they're empty calories. It's extracted from sugar cane or sugar beets, which are about 15% sugar each. And that's what's used to add sugar to most things, but there's also, of course, natural sugar and everything. And so on ingredient labels, there are just many, many different names of sugar. As you can see, there's 56 of them here. We don't need to actually read them, but instead of just writing sugar, what a lot of companies will do is they'll just put in they'll just put in a different name, just these are all basically exactly the same. So like let's say like evaporated organic cane juice, which is just just basically sugar, but it sounds better. So companies like to do stuff like that to see people don't realize that it's sugar. Okay, so the difference between naturally occurring sugar and added sugar. So naturally occurring sugar is found in whole unprocessed foods such as milk, fruit, vegetables, and some grains. And added sugar is sugar added to processed foods or drinks besides what's naturally in food. And the sugar they add can be a naturally occurring sugar, or it could be a processed sugar like fructose corn syrup. And they add excess sugar to foods to make them sweeter and for other stuff.
Okay, now Alejandro will present and give you some example where sugar can be found.
Natural sugars are, as Corey said, once again, always found in fruits and vegetables and almost all plants through photosynthesis. And then our man-made or man-created sugars, which are processed and refined in order to use it in different products. And one example of that is corn syrup.
Now we will talk about some good stuff of the sugar.
The sugar also it helps foods last longer. Sugar makes food taste better, and sweet foods are more appealing for humans. Therefore, people can sell products that have sugar easily. An example where sugar can be used in a good way is to mix it with yeast in order to make bread and make it bright. And it's a very quick energy source. So whenever someone's feeling down or tired, the consumption of energy will provide energy for the individual consuming sugar.
Okay. Now we're gonna present basics question that we do to these problems, like what is wrong with the sugar, how is sugar affecting health nationwide, how is the sugar industry targeting kids and younger generations.
Okay, how did this nationwide and global problem start? The World Health Organization researched on the bad and the good things about fat, and once they published an article about how fat worked, people were very skeptical and they were scared of it. So companies started reducing reducing the fat they put in their products because people were refusing to buy them. The big problem with this is that when you take fat out of a product, it tends to taste really bad. So therefore, they exchange that fat that they have taken out with sugar, and surprisingly, sugar is worse than fat. So the fat that wasn't used in those products now goes to other products in like really concentrated amounts. For example, cheese. Cheese is almost 100% fat. And I want to say something about calories and not a calorie. For example, if you intake 100 calories on almonds versus 100 calories on Coke, this will not be the same for your body. Almonds have fiber, therefore when they're ingested, the calories and the sugars in it will not go directly to the liver. Whereas Coke, that has no fibers at all, will go directly to the liver. The liver will be very pumped up, and it will have to produce fat and fat and fat, and that's why processed sugars and unreal foods are so unhealthy.
Okay, now we're gonna present a video.
Look at the audio part. Back it up.
There's been a lot of talk lately about sugar being bad for you, which is a bummer, because sugar is the best, right? I mean, who doesn't like sweetness? You can eat on any other taste, and it's totally understandable.
That's a space bar.
Bitterness, sourness, saltiness, umami. Yeah, that's right, umami. Apparently it's a taste. And you know what? Not everyone loves it. But sugar, pretty much everyone likes the sweet taste of sugar. But now some scientists are saying sugar is toxic. Really, scientists? Couldn't you have just looked the other way on this one? We all know that sugar isn't as healthy as things. It's not dangerous, right? Well, it turns out that it totally can be. Here's a sad statistic. For the first time in history, U.S. children are not expected to live longer than their parents. Why? A lot of it has to do with the fact that cases of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease are through the roof. Here's another sad statistic. Today, 1 out of every 3 U.S. adults is obese. Not overweight, obese. 1 in 3. But what does this have to do with sugar? Sugar's been around forever, so why is it suddenly making us so sick? What changed? What changed is a dramatically increasing amount of fructose we consume. Fructose is the sweet stuff that's in sugar, and high fructose corn syrup, sugar's newer and cheaper twin. Fructose can do damage to your body in ways we are just beginning to understand. What kind of damage? Let's start with the nerdiest part of the body, your brain. Just recently, scientists discovered a hormone called leptin. Leptin's job is to tell your brain that your body's had enough to eat. Guess what gets in the way of that job? Sugar. When you indulge in soft drinks and junk food, your brain has a hard time recognizing leptin, so you stay hungry longer and eat more than you should. This causes problems with your pancreas. The pancreas produces insulin, which helps regulate your blood sugar. The more sugar you have in your bloodstream, the harder the pancreas has to work. An overworked pancreas can lead to bad things: obesity, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes. When you consider heart disease and liver disease, both of which can be caused by sugar, then yeah, sugar is bad. Okay, cut down on the sweets, right? Not as easy as it sounds. High fructose corn syrup are now added to foods that never had sugar before, food you wouldn't expect. In fact, a recent study found that 80% of the food items in America good raincoat. This trend is reversible. Educated consumers can change the way food is manufactured simply by making better choices. Food companies only make what we buy, right? So avoiding food and drinks with added sugar will force the food industry to produce healthier food and stop adding sugar. But we have to start now, because sugar is killing us.
Okay. Now, Corey will talk about problems with added sugar.
So in 1822, humans consumed only about 35 grams of sugar every 5 days, which now humans consume that much every 7 hours, like in the US, I'm assuming. So most people don't even realize how much added sugar they're eating, and one can of Coca-Cola contains enough sugar to make you throw up, but they add ingredients to it, so that way, I think it's phosphoric acid, so that way it's more sour and like your brain just doesn't recognize that there's all this sugar in it. So there's just so much added sugar that people don't even realize is there.
Now we're gonna watch another video.
Sugar is playing hide and seek with you. You'd think it would be pretty easy for you to win, considering all the sugar in sodas, ice cream, candy, and big white bags labeled sugar. People get about half of their added sugars from those drinks and treats, so it might seem like sugar is hiding in plain sight. But like someone in the witness protection program, the other half is hidden in places you least suspect. Check the ingredients on ketchup, bologna, spaghetti sauce, soy milk, sports drinks, fish sticks, and peanut butter. You'll find sugar hiding in most of those products. In fact, you'll find added sugars in 3/4 of the more than 600,000 items available in grocery stores. But how is sugar hiding? Can't you just look on food labels? It's not that easy. Just like your friend Robert might go by Bob, Robbie, Rob, Bobby, or Roberto, added sugar has a lot of aliases. And by a lot, we don't mean 5 or 6. Try 56. There's brown rice syrup, barley malt, demerara, Florida crystals, muscovado, and of course, high fructose corn syrup, sometimes called HFCS, or corn sugar. Even sugar's tricky nicknames have nicknames. Grape or apple concentrate has the same effect on your body as its 55 sugary twins. And even though organic evaporated cane juice sounds healthy, when you evaporate it, you get sugar. Chemically speaking, it's all the same. And even trickier, when multiple added types of sugars are used in one product, they get buried down in a long list of ingredients. So the sugar content might appear to be okay, but when you add them all together, sugar can be the single biggest ingredient. Currently, the FDA doesn't suggest a recommended daily limit for sugar, so it's hard to tell if this 65 grams in a bottle of soda is a little or a lot. But the World Health Organization recommends limiting sugar to just 5% of your total calories, or about 25 grams per day. So 65 grams is well over twice that amount. But just what is sugar? What's the difference between glucose and fructose? Well, both are carbohydrates with the same chemical composition of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but they have very different structures and behave quite differently in our bodies. Glucose is the best source of energy for nearly all organisms on Earth. It can be metabolized by all organs in the body. Fructose, on the other hand, is metabolized primarily in the liver. And when your liver gets overloaded with sweet fructose, the excess is metabolized to fat. Fresh fruits actually contain fructose, but it's naturally occurring and doesn't cause
talk about the effects of the sugar on the body.
So, the videos already kind of went into this, but I'm just going to do a few that they didn't really say. So it's bad for your teeth, and just, you probably know this just from going to the dentist. It can overload your liver, which can lead to fatty liver. It can and does lead to obesity. It can lead to insulin resistance, which is a step towards metabolic syndrome and diabetes and type 2 diabetes. It can give you cancer because insulin is a key hormone in regulating cancer growth. And it causes massive dopamine release in your brain, which is what drugs do, so it's very addictive.
Okay, Alejandro will talk about the corporation.
We believe that the worst problem about the sugar industry is its corporations. According to the movie Fed Up, sugar is almost 8 times as addictive as the drug cocaine. And that's why corporations use it a lot. It gets people hooked on the product. With the use of sugar, they can create products that are more appealing to consumers. And it's sad because there's no regulations on sugar, so big corporations can do whatever they want to the sugar. They can hide names of sugars in the ingredients in order for people to be confused and not and to buy their products without knowing the actual contents of the foods they get. Another problem is the propaganda to children. Companies are targeting children from very, very young ages. First of all, because they're very easy targets. They can ask their parents to buy them their fruit roll-up or their soda or whatever. And when these companies manage to hook up people from really young ages, it's better for them because they'll have life-lasting consumers. For children who start the consumption of sugar since a very young age, have very, very hard problems in order to get out of this problem. And in the last decade, the type 2 diabetes type 2 diabetes is was a disease only viewed in adults, and in 1980 there were 0 cases of children with this disease, while in 2010 the number of children with this disease is around 57,000. There's a big controversy with the World Health Organization. Again, the World Health Organization was about to publish a paper about sugar and how bad it is. But it is believed that the United States paid the World Health Organization for them not to publish it, for their convenience, to maintain the economy stable. And that's why nobody ever finds the percentage of daily value of sugars in the tax of whatever product. And
that label that you just showed was actually the new label they're making. I'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay, now after talking about all the problems in our health, we propose some solution. What can be done for this, and how can people be educated about the negative side of sugar?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about labeling now. So the new label has been proposed, which is the one on the right. As you can see, there's a lot of different changes. The percents go on the left. And the main thing, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says sugars, and then under it says added sugars. So it says sugars 1 gram. This one doesn't have any added sugars in it, but most products do. So I think that this new label is going to help the public better know like what added sugar is, because some foods like naturally have sugar in it, like milk and stuff. Well, milk stuff like ketchup, and they said like they added sugar to ketchup. So I think consumers knowing how much added sugars in their product will help them make better decisions. And I think that this is one of the best solutions. And I think it's also going to scare some corporations into using less added sugar, because they're going to know that the public knows exactly how much added sugar they're using. And then just under this is what Ecuador uses, so Alejandro will explain that now.
In my country, in Ecuador, the government has made a regulation for every single product on the market that has been processed or whatever, to have this labeling here. There are 3 categories: there's sugar, fat, and salt. And so depending on the product, companies must give information about how high on sugar it is. And surprisingly, this labeling has changed and influenced how people buy stuff. In my country, really unhealthy products have decreased their consumption, yeah, and people are starting to take this into consideration and implementing a new and healthier diet every single day.
Now we are gonna present the video of how much sugar are we really eating. It's gonna show you in the video.
Oh, hello. Didn't expect to see you there. Well, yeah, I guess I did, but, well, you know. Imagine what else you can overlook, though, especially with a sense as sensitive and subjective as taste. Can you eat? Even imagine how many of the world's
Definitely easy not to be aware of. The American Heart Association recommends that women should eat 25 grams of added sugar a day. It's enlightening thinking of the large candy bars or those single packaged cookies, and think how many of them you cannot eat without going over that recommendation. I'm excited for differentiate sugars that are naturally occurring in
There's 2 ones. Sorry. Just turn the subtitles and you can't see them. Okay. We're just gonna turn on the subtitles.
Can you start at the beginning, please?
Yeah. And we're going to go back to the beginning. All of them Sally.
It's enlightening picking up the large candy bars or those single packaged cookies and seeing how many of them you cannot eat without going over that recommendation. I'm excited for the new nutrition labels, which differentiates between the sugars that are naturally occurring in the food versus the sugars that are added by a food processor. Yogurt, especially like a fruit yogurt. When I look at the amount of sugar, it's a very high number, but how much of that sugar comes from the milk? Milk has milk sugar. It's not a sugar that causes the same problems we see with fructose sweetened beverages. Fruit has sugar, and they clearly put some fruit in there, and then they've added sugar. I want to know how much is added sugar, and I can't even tell. And I'm a registered dietitian who has taken lots of nutrition courses, so the general public doesn't know either.
So now I'm going to talk about changing eating habits. I think that once these new labels are out and people can actually see how much added sugars in their foods, I think that they'll make better decisions. And I think that when more people get educated on the issue of what excess sugar does to your body and what it does to you, I think they'll be able to make better decisions. And there are many popular diet programs like this. One is called I Quit Sugar, which is rapidly bringing awareness and helping people stop eating the addictive substance, because like it's not like you can just like stop eating it. It's kind of, you have to like weed yourself off of it, kind of like a drug.
Okay, now we're gonna present. We're gonna present this final video about how different is from a soda to a regular fruit.
Oh, there's a girl in the corner. Does she have to be here? Oh, hello everyone. Eugene here. Taking a...
If you looked at a cookie or a soda versus an apple, you can be less concerned about the sugar in an apple. There's a lot of other things besides just fructose. All sorts of bioactive compounds, some of them probably haven't even been discovered yet, that do positive things to our health. The soda and the sugar-sweetened beverages have pretty much only one thing in them, and that's the sugar. From many, many epidemiological studies, we do know that the people who eat the most fruit are the healthiest and have the least risk for metabolic disease. The other thing is you have to eat a lot of fruit to consume a comparable amount of sugar as is in 3 cans of soda, or 2 cans of soda and 2 cookies. Chances are you're not going to be able to overeat fruit to the point you're going to have a high sugar diet just from fruit. Unless you eat a lot of honey, it's actually hard to be on a high fructose diet if you are depending on nature only to get your fructose.
Okay. Now Corey will talk about the sugar and the taxes that some countries has applied this option.
So as Roberta just said, some countries around the world are starting to consider adding a sugar tax, where it'll be taxed on like how much sugar is in the product. So this has been working in France and Mexico to help decrease the demand for sugary products, just because they're more expensive, so people are going to be less likely to buy them. And I think it's a good way to help discourage people from buying the overly sugary products. And just as the prices go up, the consumption might go down. And this is a kind of like a negative incentive for people. And I think the UK is considering it, and I think it should spread more just because it helps people make better decisions.
I think governments should control companies and their use of sugar. For example, prohibit companies from putting added sugars and an X amount of added sugars in a certain product, and then tax companies that use high amounts of sugars. That way they are encouraged to become more healthy products, and by introducing new technologies, they can replace added sugars with natural non-processed sugars, or use other options like stevia or other sugars that are not as unhealthy as the ones we talked about. And also something that will help people be more aware of this problem is to prohibit hiding sugars with the other names, like we've talked over and over before. Just state how much sugar is in there, not have many different names.
I think what he means by that is on the ingredient list, just list sugar, because it may be like the first ingredient and people don't realize how much.
Also by prohibiting publicity that targets children, obesity, heart diseases, and overweight will go down because children will not start at a very young age. It is the first time that people expect that more people die from obesity, heart diseases, and overweight rather than starvation. With the use of publicity and positive propaganda, people can learn how to have a healthier diet, how to eat diets that have less sugar or no sugar at all, and it will help them be healthy in life. And so I wanted to add one more thing. There's also a lot of problems with companies because they do very strategic researches, so they tend to cooperate with certain universities to create false reports on sugar. So, for example, Coca-Cola published a report that sugar is not linked with obesity or diabetes whatsoever, and that has caused many renowned doctors to quit their jobs and reflect on how the sugar industry is very manipulative by targeting children, by deceiving people, and not caring about the health of people nationwide
And worldwide.
Okay, so in conclusion, after searching about the sugar, how it's made, and all the problems that it produces to our health, we're getting that if many people know the effects of the sugar, they will not consume the amount they consume each day. So at the end we set some solutions that are like, we need to orientate people about these problems, and I hope that they know that it's really bad to our health, and it's not the problem it's now, so in the future where the adults get diabetes too, and now the children's also. So if they know better the problems, I think they will remove the sugar.
I don't think there's a best solution for it. I think the best solution is kind of a combination of all the solutions we talked about. So I think like a combination of all of them will help, just because I don't think that you can ever like completely get rid of sugar, just because sugar is good for some things, it's just not in excess.
Thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have done stuff the US hasn't.
They lobby a lot.
Yeah,
You know, like
there's big
lobbyists
lobbying
and
groups
stuff.
to
Do you think
incorporate-
the government's gonna ever regulate or just continue for whoever wants to buy sugar, buy sugar?
Not with the lobbyists. If you guys talked about that.
I think with like the new nutrition label, maybe it'll bring more
No?
like government attention.